Yes, Higher Learning, episode 1. This is Below Dirt, and I'm joined by...
Ryan Siegel. Yeah.
So, today, we're going to discuss Tesla.
Tesla, yeah, dude. I would like to talk about Tesla for sure today.
Why don't we start with that?
All right. Well, how much do you know about, like, the whole self-driving car shit so far?
I think I know about as far as... Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. All right. Well, I guess we should start with that guy, right? So, I don't know if you know how much you know about him, but that guy is actually like the co-founder of PayPal.
No.
Right? So he
I didn't know that.
I want to say he was like a coder on it, or I can't remember exactly what his like involvement with was it, but he's like the co-founder. So most of his money like that he uses now for like funding SpaceX and Tesla, because he owns both of those companies.
Man, doing it. Big moves.
I mean, he's making moves for sure. But that's like from PayPal, I'm pretty sure, most of that money. And he's South African. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
yeah, he's a South African guy. So it's like funny, like, you know, the most basically, I don't know what you call it, like the Nikola Tesla, you know what I mean? The Ben Franklin of our fucking day and age is a South African guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you learn, and I learn. We all learn in this podcast.
But Matt, now his like big thing is Tesla, obviously, like you said, and he also owns SpaceX.
See that? I seen the. We actually touched on that a little bit. Man, the rockets, and they came back and they.
Oh, you're talking about
themselves?
the self. Okay, so I think it was to the Falcon 9 rockets, I want to say. So there was a bunch of those that just blew up, right? Like, obviously, most people, I hope most people have seen the, what's it called? The videos of it landing.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of them. There's like a whole montage that Tesla or like SpaceX released of them just like blowing up on impact.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't see that.
So there's like a great, like, definitely look that up if you're listening to this. It's a pretty great thing to watch.
Sounds magical.
But here's like the big deal with that, right? So Rocketry is weird because, like, all right, you can buy a car. Me and you can get a car together, let's just say.
Right.
Right, let's say we're going to buy like a G-Wagon. Okay, we're going to buy like a nice-ass G-Wagon, right?
Hell yeah.
And we're buying it to drive to Los Angeles, okay?
All right.
We're going to go out to LA. We're going to do it big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we drive there. We just fill it up here. And let's just say we have a big enough gas tank to drive the probably like 3,200 miles, I would say, probably from where we are now, right, to get there. So we have enough gas to get there, okay? The cool thing is, when you're there, you can just fill that shit back up and drive it back, right?
Yeah.
But, like, rockets are weird because you can't refill, like, a rocket in space.
No.
Right? Like, we have nothing up there to, like, refuel anything or do anything to continue, like, flight, right?
Right.
So, like, basically what this does is, like, it makes it so we can build a rocket, shoot it up, and it'll just come back for refueling, right?
That's
so
what
it used to be, like, NASA would shoot a rocket, and I'm sure you've seen videos, right, where, like, they go up and then, like, what's it called, the solid fuel boosters will, like, disengage, they'll come off, and they'll fall back down to Earth, right? So that's how it's always been. Well, like, with that, you have to go, like, fish that shit out of the ocean.
That's what I was wondering. They just fall.
Yeah, they just fall, and they land, like, it's almost always in the ocean. So you have to go, like, fish it out of the ocean, fix whatever's wrong with it from falling out of fucking space, basically.
And which they refurbish?
I don't think they do.
Okay.
Actually, you should probably look that up real quick, because I don't think they... Like, I don't know what NASA's current thing is, but the cool thing with the Falcon is that it can be refueled and reshot, right? So, like, now, you can shoot something into space, land the rocket, refuel it, fix whatever's wrong with it if there is anything wrong with it, and then, just reshoot it again.
Right.
So it's like, it makes it, like, super cost-effective. Where, like... I wish I had numbers on it. We'll have to look it up. But, like,
I guess they do not.
Like what? Don't you reuse them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's just basically wasted money, right? So you're just building like a fucking firework.
Yeah.
It's a one-way trip.
Exactly.
So like, sorry, I gotta keep this joint going. Every time you would shoot something into space, you'd have to build a new rocket.
Right.
So because of that, like the new rocket just makes it so you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like they can build probably like 5 rockets, right? And then just constantly reuse them. Like have one land, start refueling and refurbishing that, and then just have another one ready to go. And then the thing that they just oh, that might have messed it up. The thing that they were just recently talking about was, so like now, plane travel, you just get on a plane, you can fly anywhere.
Right.
In a pretty decent amount of time. I think long flights are like upwards 16 hours, maybe, something like that.
I've never been on a plane.
Really?
Never in my life.
That's crazy.
I know.
I've been on a plane for more than 12 hours before.
Wow.
Yeah, from
Like
John F. Kennedy. No, in the air.
Oh.
From John F. Kennedy to Tel Aviv, Israel.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, but the thing is, so what they want to do is they want to make like a thing where they shoot you up into space, right? And then you hang in orbit, and the world will rotate underneath of you.
Okay. I think that's what I was actually about to look up. What is the guy's name who owns Virgin Mobile?
Richard Branson?
That guy. He made... Okay.
That guy loves smoking pot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shout out to Richard Branson.
Dude, shout out to Richard Branson. Dude, what was the first phone you had? Because for me, it was a Virgin Mobile.
Really?
Yeah.
That was my buddy's first phone, actually. Mine was...
It was a flip phone, dude.
It was a Nokia. It was a... What was it?
Well, like the 1610s, like the fucking...
The brick.
The brick.
The brick that everybody had.
Well, everybody had that. If you were... Well, you know, I went to a kind of wealthy schools growing up. The Sidekick.
Everybody had it.
Everybody had a fucking Sidekick.
Never had it.
And razors, Motorola razors, right? I went through like 10 of those. But yeah, I fucking...
Spaceport. I think this is...
Yeah, so the Spaceport. Now, SpaceX wants to do it, but Richard Branson... I'm pretty sure Virgin Mobile already, or Virgin Airlines already has like something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, so like, I watched almost like a documentary or something, and he was just telling about all his successes, you know?
Yeah.
And one was that he was able to take his mother into space.
But was it space or low Earth orbit?
Well, it's probably low Earth orbit.
Because, like...
Especially, this is years ago, though. This was years before SpaceX was...
No, for sure, because
like,
they built, like, that weird plane that would take off.
Yeah.
And then it would fly, and then, like, keep gaining altitude until... what is it? I think they were saying they want to make it so it's $60,000 to go to space.
Okay, yeah, I think we're...
Like, I would pay 60 grand to go to space.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
You know what I mean?
He literally showed his... mom the world.
Wait, weird thing. Will you look up what's like what's an astronaut's salary?
Hey, that's something.
Like getting paid to go to space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look up what is an astronaut's on the IS on the International Space Station. Because they're up there for like a bit. I bet it's wait, hold up. Before we find out, how much do you think they make?
Okay.
And keep in mind, like, the president doesn't make that much money. Our president does, because he's fucking drunk, and he has businesses and stuff, but...
I mean, realistically, what do you think someone
I bet
whose
they're
job
making
is
less than $60,000 a year.
You think 60,000?
Less than $60,000. No, maybe, you know, all right, if we're doing a hard number, I would say they probably make $65,000 a year.
I'm going to say...
That's good money, too.
I'll say 75 just because I think if I'm in space, I should be getting paid some dolo, you know, in space.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of
But is the privilege of going to space enough?
Not for me.
To not justify getting paid that much? Yeah, let's find out what their salary is.
Let's do this first here. What?
They have to get salary. You know they're not getting paid hourly wage up in space.
Hell no.
You know it. They're like, yo, sorry, bro, we're going to pay you hourly.
NASA's like, you know what I mean?
They don't really do anything anymore.
Exactly. They're like, we paid our people hourly, and now, hey.
That's secretly what brought NASA down.
Oh, man.
The hourly wage. Oh, man.
America.
So you have any like numbers on it?
Oh, let's see.
I don't say anything.
Oh yeah. Wait.
That might be like classified information.
The equated to an annual salary of about 90,000 US.
Jesus. So you were closer.
Yeah. So okay. I mean, I would hope,
90,000. That's like $3,000 a month. No, more than that. Way more than that, right?
Hey,
I'm bad at math. Right?
we can learn. Hey, so am I. I had in-school rehab when I was supposed to be doing my math class. So that was my pass through math. They're like, well, he wasn't there most of the time.
How much would that be? 90,000.
Yeah, let's learn that. More learning.
Higher learning.
Boy.
Name drop. You know it's always great when shows say their name. 90,000 divided by 12.
Let's get it.
Jesus.
A little bit higher than 3.
Yeah, it's like
7,500.
7,500 a month.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty dope.
I wonder how much the per diem to space would be. You know what I mean? You know what per diem
No,
is?
I don't. Yeah,
Per diem
no,
is
once
like...
again.
So, when I worked in Arizona, we had to work in this area called Kingsman.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours away from where we worked at.
Okay.
So they'd give you like $20 a day,
All right.
right?
All right.
So that you could have like eat, sleep. Really good companies will pay for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, like football players, they'll just give them like a couple grand. Just like here's the couple $1,000. Like
Shit.
I don't know, don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But to get back to what we were talking about earlier is that like when they do this and it's like more mainstream, like the ability to go to space will be so much easier, right?
Right.
Like it's so expensive now, and like because of this, it'll just be so much cheaper.
Yeah. You referring to the...
The cost of like making rockets, shooting rockets, going up to space, even if it's not to necessarily explore space, but just going up there, like low Earth orbit. Like they're talking about like what he built is like for shooting satellites and shit.
Holy hell. Damn.
Because satellites, I think they hovered about like 240,000 miles outside of from the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really far.
Talking about being able to just... Yeah. North
mean-
Korea would be so jealous.
Well, dude, think about this. How many other countries do you know that have a space
JK.
program?
Let me just say that.
Yeah, sorry,
JK.
Kim Jong.
Let me
Right?
just...
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un?
Is that... What was
Yeah.
his daddy then?
Kim Jong-il.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then his died.
He died.
His grandfather
He
was Kim
was
Il-sung,
ill.
I think.
He was ill.
I see what he did there.
Hey.
I've been trying to come up with puns with all the girls I match with on Tinder, but some girls have hard ass names come up with puns. Like I don't know how to make a pun on Mariah. She's pretty.
Oh yeah. You're like,
I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to. I'm not very good at making up puns.
I'm gonna try here, but hey, I like your eyes.
Yeah, you have pretty eyes.
That's just.
I like the dog in the fifth picture.
Speaking of dogs, I feel like. Okay, so I never used Tinder, but if we're just gonna talk about it, I always thought it was funny when you see people doing it, and it's always like multiple people in
their
the
pictures?
picture. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like an issue I have. Like I don't like taking pictures, so almost every picture that exists of me is me by myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's just who I am as a person. Like my kids they'll never be a picture of me like, look at your grandpa. So be like, look at your dad. He's like 1 billion years old because the first picture of him.
Oh my god.
But I never take pictures. But I know what you're talking about. Like a lot of girls, every picture of them will be with like the same 4 chicks.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know it's the ugly one.
Well, I mean, that's what this is. This is exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I mean, if
for
you're
real.
in a group of pictures,
and you don't ever put yours.
yeah, and there's not just one picture of you, you're probably the ugly one in the group of friends. Which, I should clarify, I don't have anything against ugly people, they're just not my type. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's okay to be shallow as long as.
But then again, what's weird about that is, like, do you think of how many people, like, how many relationships you see where you're like, man, Like, sometimes it's an attractive person with, like, an unattractive person, like, in your eyes.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm not gay or anything, but I can tell if a dude's attractive, you know? But, like, or you see people and you're like, how the fuck?
Yeah. No, I definitely
Like,
understand
beauty's
that.
so in the eye of the beholder, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? Being funny pays off.
Oh, for sure. Girls like if you're funny.
Yeah. I mean, some people you gotta work with what you got, and if nothing else, you better come up with some damn jokes.
Yeah, you better make them laugh, for sure.
Because there's a reason.
We got to bring something to the table.
This is audio for a reason. Yeah. There's a reason here.
So, yeah, there's not a camera big enough to fit my body into it.
Great voices.
Great voices, yeah.
The face is not the best choices.
Yeah,
But
I can't agree with that.
we can make up for it.
I was looking at the mic.
How do you spell Sumerians?
Like ancient Sumerian?
Yeah.
I think Sumarian.
I totally didn't. Okay. I was like, you said them way too quick.
SU.
No, I got it already. You know, good old Google helping me out. Shout out.
Not sponsored by Google. I should clarify. We're
not at all.
sponsored by Google.
Not at all. But
Google,
shout
hit
out.
us up, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
it's only
I
the second episode, but
give me a shirt.
buy us sponsors.
Anything.
We'll put a sticker in the booth.
Boom. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Big
nice.
stick.
We got some nice like smoke in here.
Shack in the woods. We're out in Shack in the woods, undisclosed location. Smoking shack in the
Deep
woods.
inside of a Nevada bunker.
Wait, no. There's no disclosed location.
Oh yeah. We're not in Nevada.
Not at all.
We are in Ohio.
Oh,
the exact
shit.
opposite of Nevada.
Hey, yeah, if you're not from Ohio and you're listening to this, I wonder if y'all's weather is the same
Those ours
as
recently.
all the time, man. It's just super crazy now, but man, it's always just wet and muggy.
It's
and
always something. But when it's nice, it's super nice.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
when the weather's nice, it's very nice.
And it will trick you. You ever look out and it's like, damn, that's sunny. Oh yeah.
You walk outside, it's like 30 degrees.
It's ridiculous. That's Ohio in a nutshell, man.
Specifically Cincinnati is weird because we have like the hills that kind of surround our city, you know?
Right.
So like we don't really get weather as much as we should.
Ugh.
You know, because it also breaks on the river.
Damn those hills.
Dude, I would love to live where it snowed like regularly. That's the thing I have with it is like it either needs to like snow and be cold
Right.
or it just needs to be warm. You know what I mean? Like
Just make up your mind.
I hate when it's like cold as shit, but then you don't get any snow, and it's just like this is just a tease. Because at least when there's snow out, you're like, oh, at least it's pretty, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The
It
snow's
can
like-
be beautiful. I took a video
Yeah, snow
of
can
me
be
while
really-
driving, and I was like, "Don't do this at all."
That's definitely a bad idea.
But it was so pretty. I'm like, "Look at this fucking tree." Oh shit. Okay, but look at this tree. Don't be like me.
Yeah, I don't know. Driving in the snow sucks, kind of, but not really if you have like a car for it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're driving like a, I don't know.
My car.
Yeah, Civic or something.
Yeah.
you know?
It's okay.
A
I know
Civic
you
is
was
not the
wanting to
best.
say it.
That's literally what I was
just-
thinking about. That's like the go-to like generic car.
I don't want to say it.
If you're
but-
driving like a Camry, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
You're not having a
That's
bad
better.
time. But if you have like a Wrangler or something, it's a really good time.
It's fun.
But you shouldn't be an idiot. Like, I know people who have off-road vehicles that are like straight morons
Oh yeah.
when they do it, you know?
Yeah, being reckless and having fun is different. There's a difference, man.
Yeah, there's a
You get a little older and you're like, well, I don't want to die, but I do like having fun. You know, like, we can
do.
make there's a compromise you gotta come to. You know what I mean? You gotta.
Well, it's also,
Figure
I think
it
it's
out.
more like, you can definitely have fun, but like, if you're like being an asshole and you're driving like over the speed limit and there's snow on the ground, like, you can just go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
I stand by that.
Like, even if your car can do it. Unless there's nobody on the road, do whatever.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're out and
Well, no,
you're not
like,
gonna put anyone else in danger, you do what you do.
Yeah, dude, go drift your car, go do
Oh,
whatever you want. Like,
man.
we used to have the Jeep, like, I've gone sledding behind the Jeep before, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, did you
Like, just driving
attach
down,
it?
like, a snowy road. And you just hold on to like the tow cables.
Man, you didn't even tie it on or nothing, huh?
No, you tie the tow cables.
I thought you were okay, never mind.
You tie like tow cables to like the back of the Jeep, and then you just hold on to the tow cables in like an inner tube.
Okay.
As long as there's a little bit of snow, you'll like slide.
Speaking of snow, this is a conspiracy part of it now. Do you think they control the weather?
No.
Boom.
I mean, no, there's but I don't think so.
Have you ever heard of HARP?
Mm-mm. Oh, is that? I think maybe.
All right. Well, let me just...
Do I think that they can, like, control the weather? No. But they can probably influence it, maybe.
Like, yeah, manipulate it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
like, maybe, like... I don't even know how they would do that, but...
Yeah, me either. And
it's probably something to do with water.
Yeah?
If I had to guess, yeah, you could probably, like... You can make clouds and shit.
Yeah, okay, so you've seen there was a video on that. And they make sound wave, like, pulses.
Oh,
and
they control with sound?
You know, well, you know what I mean? Okay, if you create an earthquake, which, I don't know how you could maybe just put a bunch of dynamite under the ground, something like that. Now, I know they're fault lines. Yeah. They're rubbing against each other. I do know that. I'm not,
Yeah,
but if you replicate...
plates.
Yeah, but if you try to replicate a large explosion...
Would have to be underground.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the same types of civilization that wastes so much money that we to print off in this paper and fabric. You know what I mean? Like,
well, money's just a thing that we
created.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's not even really a thing. It's just like, hey,
here's a receipt.
Let us agree to use this shit.
Hey, can I have food? Well, no, you need a certain little piece of paper.
Yeah, do you have a little square or like a little rectangle in your pocket, bro?
Nah, it's got some dead guys on it. You ain't got it?
Yeah, is everybody dead that's on the bill?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because, what about 50s?
Well,
100s?
wait.
50s are Andrew Jackson, right?
No, that's 20s.
Jackson's
Hamilton. No, wait, no, Hamilton is, Grant is 50. I'm gonna double check. Fact check.
Pretty sure all those people are dead.
Yeah.
Lincoln's on the penny. He's definitely dead.
Is a $2 bill real?
Not anymore.
No, but it was.
Yeah, it used to be a currency.
Who was on that?
I don't know. I don't think there was a person on it.
Really?
Or maybe there was. Have you ever seen a $2 bill?
I am now.
Oh, you've never seen one in person? I've definitely seen one.
Let's see. Who's this jack off?
Thomas Jefferson.
No way. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah. No, I've seen it.
I know my dead presidents.
Yeah.
Not really. I'd read it.
I've read it. I just learned.
I read the thumbnail.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah,
Thomas.
Before you clicked into it.
I can see.
Yeah, $2 bills were a thing. I don't remember why they got rid of them though. What? I think it was just I mean, what's the largest bill that you've seen? Probably 100, right?
Yeah.
I think that's as big as it gets. The reason there's not bigger bills than that is just because the banks just don't want you to have that much money.
Ah.
You know what I mean? You can have a shit, dude, I'm sure you've seen, I've held a couple $1,000s in hundreds. It's really not that much money.
Mm-mm.
It's a handful of bills, you know?
Right.
But if you have a couple grand in, ones, it's all harder to, put away. And then think about, if you had a couple grand in, $500 bills. You could have, $1 million in your closet.
Yeah, easy.
You know?
Easy.
That's probably all bullshit.
That makes, I don't know.
But
that makes sense, though. Why you wouldn't, you won't have $1,000 bill. No, we can't have you just having $65,000 easily put in your pocket.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, you can be arrested if you have too much money on you.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying the capacity to even do that.
Especially on international travel.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you get on a plane.
Oh, God. It's 2018.
But it's not as much money as you think it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot less than you think it is. You can have, banknotes and shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. The airports are cool, though, because they have a currency exchange where you can get, every denomination.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, you go there with, if you're going to, I don't know anybody else's currency. Like if you need euros, you can just go to like the airport at like Charlotte, and then
exchange them.
Yeah,
That's dope. Mm-hmm. That is dope.
but in some countries, like in Central America, the American dollar's like so strong. Oh, it's going out. It's like so strong that like you can just all right. So we went to this place called Belize. It's in Central America.
Yeah.
And down there, we stayed at like a nature resort type of deal where it's like literally has like one generator that powers like everything. You have one light in your room. Everything's like gravity fed, like water wise, so it's all like water towers and shit. It's like super ecological friendly.
Okay.
But when we were there, we got like a cab. We got a cab one day and a tour guide a different day. And we gave the cab driver like $10, like a $10 bill. And
Right.
he waited for us every single place we would go.
Damn.
Like he would drop us off and then just wait
Really?
until we got back. And then he would take us wherever we had to go after that.
That's hand and foot.
Yeah, and like the same thing with like we got a tour guide who took us to all these like Mayan temples and shit. It was really cool actually. But we gave him like a fat tip, like $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he took us to this like cave. Like we had to go rent canoes,
Yeah.
right, from some company.
Some fucking
And we had to go rent a
adventurous,
truck,
man.
yeah. And then he drove the truck all the way like out into the woods, this random place. And we put these canoes in the water. And then we had like floodlights and shit, like handheld floodlights. And
Yeah.
we canoed back into this cave, like a water-filled cave, right? And like in the cave, it was like an old burial chamber. Burial.
Yeah.
Where they would bury like royalty and shit.
Damn.
And like just random people. So like you would go in there and like in the sediment of the walls you would see like bones and shit and like skulls just from people being buried there. Like,
Really?
in the past. Yeah, it was super cool. But he just did that because we gave him such a fat tip. He was like, oh,
Well, let me show you some extra
I'll
shit.
show you some extra shit.
Yeah, I mean, why not? He just got hooked up. I would do
sure.
the same thing if I was in his position. I mean, and he sounds like he deserved that.
Oh, for sure. He was a really cool guy. I feel like all tour guides, like, in any country are typically cool dudes. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have to be. Because you have to, like...
Be a people person.
Yeah, for sure. You have to be a people person.
You have to. You can't be a jerk and then be like, "Come on, you want to see Rome? Get in. Now it's time. Yeah, look over there. It's too late. I'm going.
One of the cool things, so I was talking about Israel earlier. In Israel, we had an armed guard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
Like, our group or whatever, when we were there, had, like, we had a security with us who had a rifle at all times. His name was, Stavi. Because in Israel, everybody has to serve in the military.
Dude,
Mandatory military service.
really? Mm-hmm. See, this is what I'm talking about. Let me just.
You didn't know that?
No, man. This is like
Yeah, so every single person in
real
Israel,
facts.
born
right?
in Israel, has to serve, like, mandatory military time.
Man, no. You see, that's something I did not know.
But think about it like this, right? It's like, let's say this house right here, let's say every single neighbor hated you.
True.
And every single person in their family hates you.
Whack.
And every one of their ancestors hate you. For like thousands of years.
That's depressing as fuck. Oh.
That's like a situation they're in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you did
So
there.
like
Oh,
the Jewish people or whatever, the Jews,
Oh.
the Jewish people, they basically just live in a block where everybody hates them. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's a very hostile area to be in, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like, you know, people always want to compare America to other places, but until you go somewhere else and like you actually experience like another culture or something, like you can read about it, you can watch videos,
something. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you can talk to people from there, but it's like something about like being there, right? Like we have poverty in America, like really bad poverty, especially
Right.
in areas like Detroit and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I've seen people who like live in like mud shacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see
Where like
that.
everybody, that's like their whole life, right?
True.
Like where like people's parents lived in a mud shack and they live in a fucking mud shack and their kids will die in a mud shack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hunting
Like,
type
but it's not
shit.
poverty to them. That's just like life. to
Life,
them.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
only poverty to us because we have a conception of like people with a lot of money.
Yeah, the fact is we can turn on a faucet.
I don't even remember what my point was I was trying to make before that. Can I go?
I mean, that's,
oh yeah, so
fine.
Israel, everybody has to serve in the military there.
Yeah.
Mandatory military service. So, like, when you're there, it's very small, too.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, Israel, you can tour the entire country in a day.
Yeah.
I think it takes, like, 2 hours to drive across the whole country.
Shit.
But, that's, like, the mecca of religion as well.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's Muslims, Christians, Jewish people, everything in Jerusalem.
Right.
You know, because of, like, there's a Church of the Holy Sepulchre there for the Christians and Catholics, I think, too. There's obviously, it's like a holy site for Jewish people. Right. And then even for Muslims as well. And it's, like, honestly kind of battled over. Like, there's not active fighting. There might be now. But when we were there was no active fighting. Like, actually, the day we left, Lebanon bombed Israel.
Oh, man.
Like, that's when the Gaza Strip and all that shit started. Was like, hours after we left.
Talk about good timing, man.
Oh, for sure. Like, we left, everything was fine, and when we landed, that's all the news was about. And, like, we wouldn't have been able to leave. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but everybody there is mandatory military service because of that shit. So, like, even anybody you meet that was born there has served in the military and has combat experience. And, like, when you're walking around in, like, the city, there's just on the corners, there's just groups of soldiers, all in, like, full military gear, you know?
Damn.
Because it's constant threats. Like, on most of the corners there, too, there's these, like, bomb disposal things where it's literally like a cast iron ball that you can put bombs in.
Shit.
So if they detonate, they won't kill anybody.
And that's just readily available.
And they're big enough for people.
But that's readily available.
Oh, yeah. It's like
just
everywhere there.
Man.
It'd be like if you go downtown and on every corner, there was just something. It's basically like a sphere. It's like, I mean, I was a little kid when I was there. But it's like 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Damn.
And it's big enough. It's got a big door on it. It's big enough for people to get into it. So there's like suicide bomber or something. You can throw them in there.
Man.
So it'll detonate and not hurt anybody.
Well, that's being proactive.
Oh, for sure. Well,
That's
I mean, it's
awesome,
like,
man.
that's just something that's life for those people.
Like you said, yeah, and that makes sense. It's like just like animals, man. Like, I mean, just being real, like, they hunt animals, some, you know, I'm not saying them, but how you were talking about mud shacks and shit. Like, that's their life.
Yeah, but like I said, unless you go and you experience it, like, you can read about it, and you can watch documentaries and shit, but, like, I don't know, I really think there's, like, a lot of, like, cultural ignorance in America, you know? Like,
for sure,
like we're a really big melting pot. Like, Ohio especially, like, you probably don't think about it because you said you've never been on a plane.
Yeah.
So you definitely haven't done, like, a ton of, like, really long distance travel, I assume, right?
Not at all.
So, like, Ohio, we're actually a really good place, dude. We have Indians. We don't really have a lot of Native Americans here, or, like, a very big Mexican population, I don't think. We have, like, a lot of Indians and, like, Asians and white people and black people and all that stuff. But it's like we don't have, like, Africa's not here.
Right.
You know what I mean? When people come here, they live the American life.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you could be, like, the joke always is, like, you could be a master surgeon in India, and then you come here and you work at a gas station, you know what I mean?
That's crazy, yeah.
But, like, we're not experiencing, like, what they would experience. So, like, you might talk to a guy and he might be from some other country and he'll tell you about it. And you might think, like, oh, I know an African dude.
Right.
Like, no, you know an African guy who lives in America. You know what I mean?
Right,
he's not doing it. Like, he's not African, or he's not... You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he's not... I'm kind of big, so it's like... he's not, like, doing African shit, you know what I mean? He's not living in, like, a shack or whatever. He's not, like, starving to death. He's not having to, like, contend with, like, lions and shit.
No.
But...
Not by any means.
When you go experience it, it's a lot different. It gives you a lot more appreciation.
Right.
For, like, whatever, like, you have and you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it could be a lot worse, you know?
Exactly.
Like, you could be born into a country where it's, like, just war all the time, and that's all you know. You know, that would suck.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, by all means, you're, like, exactly spot on, dude.
Another thing, too, is, like, people always want to compare America to other countries, but we're so large.
Yeah.
In comparison to other countries, like, people always want to say, like, oh, a lot of European countries have, like, universal health care and all that kind of shit. But, like, at the end of the day, most states are bigger than most European countries.
Shit, yeah.
We're a massive, like, think about it, dude. America's almost the size of North America. It's half of it. The other half is Canada.
True.
Europe is, like, tiny. And it's like a ton of fucking countries. And they all have their own languages, and they all have their own everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like in America, everybody speaks English basically.
Yeah.
And it's like a massive, right?
Yeah, and then people they're up in arms if you have to if they see something with Spanish.
Yeah, yeah, it's bullshit.
Right
Like when I lived in Arizona, dude, like almost like Phoenix, not so much, but Bullhead was really like this. Like a lot of shit's in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like you can go to like strictly Spanish places.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the Mexican restaurants there are just Spanish restaurants. It's just a restaurant to them. So it's all in Spanish. There's no fucking English. Except it says the only one we went to, the only thing in English it said in the whole store was super burrito.
Really?
You know, it was $8. It was amazing. It was 1.5 pounds of meat and cheese.
Holy hell.
It was so good, dude.
You think you're killing me? That shit sounds fucking amazing.
It was super good. But that's my point, though, is like we're such a big fucking place. And we have like so much land and cultural diversity and like just a lot more land. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like think about it like this, right? Like Ohio's pretty big. There are countries smaller than Ohio with its own military.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
No, that's crazy. Yeah. When you
Like that's what I always think about, right? Like as in relation to where we live is like, I mean, dude, there's places the size of our state that have their own military, their own government. They've been in wars and shit.
Right.
And we're like massive. That's
Right.
why we're really uninvadable.
Right.
Same with like Russia and
Damn.
China. That's why they're our big, like, you know, competitors too, is because they're also in massive areas. A lot of
Right.
Russia's uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Because it's like the fucking Russia.
Right.
Like grizzly bear people come out of there. Russians are badass people for a reason, you know what I mean?
True shit. 100%.
They're like, they have really good genetics because of that.
Strong.
Yeah,
Very
they're strong. They're hardy people.
That's why they have, like, if they
Well, I
have
gotta stand up for like half a second.
you do what you do, man. That's why they have
Cheers,
all those, the Russian. They, you know,
Oh,
the
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that they
like,
say
they're, like,
stuff like that.
bare-chested.
They are, yeah, you
They
know
drink
exactly.
vodka.
People, it strikes fear in people. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the Russian. Call in the Russian. How many times have you heard that in a movie?
Dude, it's always the Russian too. It's never like, oh, that's just Boris, and you're like, oh, I bet Boris is a Russian.
Or
It's always like,
Boris
the Russian.
Yeah, that's that title in there, or else it doesn't strike fear like it needs to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's people just don't think about. I mean, you might think about it, but it's like I don't really think people really think about it. You know?
No, not by any means.
Like I think about it sometimes, but it's like I never like try to imagine what it's like to live somewhere like that. You know?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like if you have to wake up every day and like, what's your biggest problem on a daily basis?
I don't have a lot of problems. I just have a lot of.
Yeah, but what's your like goal every day? Like when you get up, what's your like my goal is to like spend some time by myself and like enjoy myself. You know, like do something I like.
Yeah.
Is that like watching Netflix or playing video games?
Kind of
for
the
a little
same,
bit?
like wanting to relax.
Yeah, but for some people, it's like surviving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For some people, every day when they wake up, they're like, oh, thank God, I'm alive.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
But it's like, dude, nobody's going to blow up our house.
No.
Okay? Nobody's going to like, there's no way like some stray bullet's going to kill you.
No.
I mean, it's maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Very
I mean,
unlikely.
depending on where you live, that is still very
I mean,
possible.
dude, even if you live in like a gun-prone neighborhood, it's
Yeah.
probably still like way less likely than
Oh,
like,
yeah, compared
Syria
to...
or
yeah,
some shit.
compared...
Or
yeah.
Afghanistan.
Oh, for damn
Like, I
sure.
can't even begin to imagine that at all. You know?
No.
Like,
It's hard
I've
to
been
put
to like the Middle
yourself
East.
in that position.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like we just deal with so much less here. Like our problems are like our big problem now is like mass shootings.
Yeah.
Like for some countries,
Have you
every
seen
day
these-
is a mass shooting. You know?
Have you seen these kids who are 17? And I'm not hating on any 17-year-olds and younger, and they're saying they're smug as hell. I'm sorry, and they're going on Bill Maher. You know
Okay.
him? Yeah, they're going on his show, and they said, "Oh, by the way, we accept your apology, America, because we're gonna fix all your fuck ups." Basically, no, they said something.
Wait, these about the mass shootings, right?
Yes. And he's 17, and they're just saying they say they're experts in what they're talking about, which is gun prevention.
It's funny, you know, like a lot of those schools, they make them use like clear backpacks now.
Yeah.
And then they're complaining about it. It's like, you're just trying to take someone else's rights. Like, you lost your rights. And like, that's hilarious to me.
It's crazy, yeah. You know?
My thing with it is I really don't think there's like more. Yeah, see, look, that's good that we put that there, right?
yeah, for sure.
Sorry, we just had an audio cue, so let it know when we're like going to try to wrap it up. But I don't think there's more shootings necessarily. I just think there's more people and more availability of information.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, like, there might, let's say, like, maybe 50 years ago, no, like, for sure 50 years ago, like, where my mom grew up, like, was a small town, right?
Right.
Right? No, it's more than 50 years. Probably like 60 years. Just kidding. My mom's like 30. Wink.
Hey, big wink.
She wouldn't want me talking
Shout
about
out
her
to
age.
Mom.
But, fuck, what was I saying? Like, there used to be a lot less people in a lot less places, and everything was more spread out, and, like, you know, information was like writing a fucking letter, or like maybe a phone call, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I can fucking FaceTime you at 2 o'clock in the morning if I really want to. Will you answer? Maybe not. Probably not. But I can.
Right.
You know? And then, like, I mean, people are, like, live tweeting active shootings and shit now, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, if you think about it, like, let's say... Actually, just look this up real quick. See, like, how long does it take for the population to double? Because that's probably a good question. Because, like, speaking of that, is like, you know, with all the people now, it's just saying there's so much more people now. It's like, of course, more things are going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Of course,
To double. About 63 years.
Yeah, so every 63 years, we double in population, so we're going to have twice the amount of shootings,
Oh, man.
twice the amount of rapists, twice the amount of murderers, you know what I mean? So I think that's really more what it is
Yeah.
than, you know, there being more shootings. I think it's just more fucking people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more people. And, like, with more people, there's more guns, there's more availability to get guns. You know, it's just always going to be more. And we're a fucking huge country, too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said earlier, it's like most states are the size of a country. And those countries might have mass shootings. But, you know, if you think about every state as their own country, we probably don't really have that many shootings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just certain places have a lot of shootings.
Right.
You know? And then that comes to, like, dude, even in, like, China, they don't have guns. There's mass stabbings. Like, we're, like, hundreds. Like, I think the recent one was, like, some dude stabbed 120 people
Yeah.
before he got killed.
See, and does that help?
No?
Exactly.
But, you know what's also crazy, too? Or, crazy about that is that, like, it's easy to stop a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stop a guy with a knife without a gun.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Stop cutting your steaks? No. Knives will never be taken away, so why take away the guns, you know?
Boom. And I think that's a good cue to end on.
That's a good one, for sure.
That's nice.
For sure.
I mean, damn.
But it's true. I mean, you know, you can cause. I can kill people with my hands. I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like,
Shit. No,
you don't need a weapon.
Shit.
Your body is a weapon.
Right.
You know, like,
just use it.
you know, we're gonna take my arms away. You can take my legs away. You can put me in, like, a wheelchair. Everybody's gonna be in a wheelchair. Like, what? Everybody gets to be in a padded suit. It's not gonna happen. And I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather have to fight the guy with a knife with a gun than with my bare hands.
Right.
You know, or another knife.
True shit, though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. That was fun.
Exactly.
It got really hot in here.
Right. Well, I mean, the hot box.
We hotboxed.
Right.
Still hazy in here. Thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate it.
Hey, no it. Straight up. It's my pleasure, man. And that's Higher Learning. Episode.
I need a fucking cigarette. Oh, dude, that definitely is true. That would have been cool.
No rippage.